I've been climbing for about 15 years. My dad got me into climbing. He was a pretty keen climber back in the day, dragged me up some big scary routes when I was about 11. It's taken me to some really amazing places. It motivates me to get out and explore parts of Scotland and parts of the world that otherwise I might not have gone to. And just that real sense of adventure and journeying, whether that's on your own in your own head and with your own body, that kind of mind-body connection, or whether it's part of a team, it's pretty special.
It's hard. Well, I started out, my first experience, I guess, was winter climbing. So that's always kind of a challenge in itself, I guess, just kind of because you're facing the elements. There's nothing like the wind in Scotland in the winter time.
Yeah, we hit it off there, and because Jen is unbelievably psyched to do things, and like, right, we need to get this girl out and do some climbing together.
It's like, I'll bring the snacks. It'll be great.
Usually when I arrive at a problem or a route that I've never seen or done before, quite an important part of succeeding at that is to visualise the route or problem beforehand. So what I would usually do is I would have a glance at the route and get a kind of idea of where it goes, and then I might break it down and work through each move. When I'm on a big climb, I'm usually pretty focused, so I'm not really thinking about much apart from each move. And I guess that's the special thing about climbing, is that it's so engaging that you can escape from everything else. It's a way of kind of grounding myself in the present moment. I guess that's what it gives me. It gives me a way of escaping the stuff that doesn't matter.
Scared? Yeah. You obviously get a lot more used to heights, especially when you get in the zone, you don't really think about it. You'll get really kind of focused and you'll be like, oh, I'm really high. But yeah, no, it's scary, but that's kind of the fun of it, I guess.
Heights don't bother me, but I guess when you start exploring your limits, then you start to kind of push every aspect of climbing, so not just the physical difficulty. It really comes down to a sort of meditation, or just being present and really focused on the task at hand, or maybe just really kind of dug deep and found a kind of strength or like secret power that I didn't know I had through putting myself into those scary situations. But yeah, it's definitely something that climbers, like every climber, will explore, and it's whether it's how far you push it that kind of determines the outcome, I guess.
And Vicky Mays, Jennifer Rogers and Natalie Feather, who we just saw there, are joining us now on the sofa. Thank you very much for coming in to see us tonight.
Yeah, thank you.
Now, like we said, we just saw you in action, but Natalie, tell us about the challenge of climbing the sea stacks.
So our plan is to climb 3 of Scotland's highest sea stacks, which are all in the north of Scotland. And the kind of the biggest logistical challenge is to do them in 3 days, because you've got to obviously climb up and abseil down off each one. You've got to get from one to the other, and also some of the approaches to some of them, you have to, the first one you've got to go along a Tyrolean, which is a wire that you set up from one side of the land to the stack, and you've got to go across like you would on a zip wire to get initially to get to the bottom of the first stack. So there's all these kind of little logistical things that we need to figure out and get right.
Sounds very technical indeed. But some people might not even know, what is a sea stack? Can you tell us a bit about them?
Yeah, so sea stacks, they literally come out of the water, so they're not attached to the land in any way, apart from the Old Man of Hoyt is actually, you can walk across to it, so there is a little bit of rock at the bottom, so you can see them rising out of the sea.
Yeah, they're majestic, they're so impressive.
Yeah.
Don't fancy climbing that myself, though, that's tricky.
Certainly leave that to you girls. And Jen, how tall are they? Do we know?
So Ambucul is 213 feet. I'm going to do it in feet because I'm from the US. And Hoy is the tallest. It's 450, and Store is about 200, just shy of 200 feet.
That's a lot of climbing. It's pretty tricky to get to. It's not an easy challenge to be taking on, is it?
Getting to it is just as much,
That's
I guess,
a bigger
challenge. Because doing it in three consecutive days, you have to like get everything coordinated.
I know. And how do you feel about the challenge?
Well, the challenge is kind of symbolic of the old men of our generation. So, for example, my dad and Nat's mentor as well, kind of strong, role models in our lives have passed on their love for rock and their knowledge onto us, and it's kind of this symbolises us stepping up as role models for the youth of our generation. And so we've teamed up with the Urban Uprising, which is a Scottish charity.
And what do they do?
So they support youths from deprived areas in Rio and now also in areas around Glasgow. So they have a project over the summer which is called the Urban Uprising Climbing Club, and it's 14 kids from North Ayrshire, and they're going to come to the climbing academy over the summer holidays, and we're going to introduce them to the climbing community.
Fantastic.
And
be inspiring them all the way with this challenge.
Good luck with the climb as well.
Good luck, and thank you very much for coming to tell us a bit more about it.
Thank you.
Fantastic.